Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Board of Commissioners, City Hall, Bowling Green, Kentucky, regular meeting, August 4th, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. And we're going to begin with the invocation and pledge allegiance, and I'll turn it over to Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, Mayor. It's my honor tonight to introduce my pastor, but more importantly, my friend, Dr. Greg Farrell, who is lead pastor at Crossland Church here in Bowling Green. And if you do live in our community, you see Greg everywhere in our community. And as he was walking up to take his seat, to quote him, "I'm honored to be here, and I love this city." So, Greg, thank you. We love you.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Let's go ahead and pray. Father, we love you and we thank you. And all we have to do is pause and just reflect on the world at large and what we can see on the newsreels so quickly, and why it shocks us. It should also produce something within us, and that's gratitude. Because you determine the boundaries of human living. You tell us that in Acts 17, that we're all appointed certain boundaries in certain times, and we didn't end up in South Central Kentucky by accident, but by design. And we are beyond blessed. But that gratitude has got to produce action. It can't just be thankfulness without action, because that's pointless. That your word says you so loved the world you gave. And if we love this community enough, then each of us has a responsibility to give back and not just take from. And, as I was sitting here, Father, reflecting, it's easy to remember the mayor and it's easy to remember the commission for the great work they do, but what about the fire department? What about our police department? What about those people in Parks and Rec that, are probably out there right now on a mower, mowing in 100-degree temperatures, making our parks look good, and the road department out there slinging hot asphalt when it's got to be 120 degrees on that hot asphalt out there, and they're all doing it. Yeah, they get a paycheck, but they're not doing it just because of a paycheck, Father. There's so many people that do so many things that make this community what it is. And I just want to thank you that we are blessed. We're blessed. And while we must be united by the things we agree on, we must be cordial and civil on the things that we disagree on. But more than anything, each of us has to become a contributor to this community, to keep it and to protect it for generations to come. Father, we love you and we thank you. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray to you. Amen.
You'll turn and face the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Farrell. Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Now I'm going to turn over the floor to Commissioner Carlos Bailey.
Tonight, I guess we're all pleased. The Board of Commission and the staff is pleased to welcome the Sky BG Elite 2012 boys who won the Kentucky State Cup Soccer Championship in June, which qualified them to advance the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championship in Salt Lake City, Utah in July. The team also had a successful run at the national tournament, reaching the quarterfinals before losing. I want to just say before learning. No, you don't lose, you learn. Before learning, I guess, in the penalty kicks. Their finish placed them as one of the top 8 teams in the entire country of the United States of America. This is the furthest that a soccer team from Bowling Green, Kentucky has ever advanced in the event, becoming the first team from Bowling Green, Kentucky to win the prestigious national event and advance to the quarterfinals round. I don't know if you guys are Zach, if he's here, if he would like, or one of the coaches, or even one of the team members, if you guys want to come up here, if it would be okay with the commission. To say anything.
Right here.
And also, we'd like to get a picture with you guys.
Absolutely. Congratulations, team. Congratulations. Come on up, gentlemen.
Yeah, we'll line up here in front of us. We'll take a picture.
Coach, congratulations. Congrats. Great job. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations, y'all.
during the World Cup year, any words of wisdom to the world on the world of soccer? Well, we congratulate you, and you represented our community well, you represented our state well, and keep at it. Keep going at it, never give up. It's like Carlos stated, you know, when you lose, you learn, and that's what makes winners. So congratulations, gentlemen. All right, Mrs. Jackson, will you please provide a roll call?
Commissioner Beasley Brown.
Here.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Perigin.
Here.
Commissioner Bailey.
Here.
Mayor Alcott.
Here. Mr. Meisel, do you have comments at this time?
I do have a few, Mayor. I'd like to recognize a few folks. First of all, our own Rachel Danner in the Law Department recently received the Sherry Ramsey Award from the Southern Kentucky Association of Paralegals. The Sherry Ramsey Award recognizes a regional paralegal member who goes above and beyond to support their legal community. So congratulations to Rachel Danner and the Law Department for that award. Hot off the presses, just today, August 4th, the Bowling Green Fire Department has been awarded the recertification of our ISO Class 1 for our community. So that keeps our insurance premiums down. Our Bowling Green Fire Department is one of 127 career fire departments that have both an ISO 1 and they're nationally accredited. So congratulations to the Bowling Green Fire Department. Great work, guys. Appreciate all that work. Lastly, if you are in the audience and would like to make public comments, please sign the register in the back corner of the room. We'll take those up after a regular session. And then one last thing, I'd like to introduce John with KLC. He's here to make a presentation, and I'll turn it over to John.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. I won't take up too much because I know you have a lot of important business to get to. I'm John Clark. I'm the law enforcement consultant for the Kentucky League of Cities. Every 3 years, KLC meets with law enforcement agencies and completes what we refer to as a safety and liability review. It's a comprehensive look at an agency's leadership, training, their policies, and best practices. I sat down with the executive leadership in Bowling Green a few months ago, and we took a comprehensive look at how they handle all of those areas. More specifically, we look at the things that get police officers hurt and the things that happen that get police officers, departments, and cities sued, because we want to avoid those things if at all possible. We examine over 60 areas. Examples of those areas are driving, firearms training, response to resistance training, warrant service, evidence, and equipment like police equipment, but also the OSHA required equipment that all departments have to have. KLC, as you can imagine, that's your insurer, we have very high standards. We look for the little things that can get you in a bind or that other people might miss. The Bowling Green Police Department has demonstrated 100% score, and they've had that 100% score with us consistently. I looked back earlier today since 2009.
Wow.
So that's a long time. And it's noteworthy that this safety and liability review does not stay the same. We move the goalpost every year. We review what best practices are, and we send those out kind of as a test. Hey, are you willing to go that extra mile? And Bowling Green is one of the places that never fails. This is an accomplishment not only for the police department, but also for this commission. As you all well know, these things do not come without a cost, and that cost is usually money. So investing in your police department it goes without saying that investing in your police department is a great idea. Without your financial support, it wouldn't be possible. This score translates into a safer community for everybody, but it also saves you, just like Just like he was saying about the fire department, this translates into a little bit lower insurance rates. This 100% score comes with a 12% discount on your law enforcement liability coverage. So it is worth the investment. It's worth the investment just for the people, but it's well worth the investment because you get that money back. In appreciation for this accomplishment, KLC presents the Bowling Green Police Department with a plaque for that achievement, and if possible, I'd like to get a photograph if we could.
Absolutely. Laney? Burnham, Penny, come on up. Congratulations, BGPD. John, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, our first item of business is approval of our minutes, regular meeting, July 21st, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Beasley Brown. Any discussion? None? Mrs. Jackson, roll call.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey. Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2026-175.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Derek Sanders to the position of Crew Supervisor 2 in the Public Works Department.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Beasley Brown, second by Bailey. Mrs. Katie Schaller Ward, please.
Good afternoon. We had a retirement August 1st in our Public Works Department, Tony Phelps, who had been with us for many years. And so I would like to call up Public Works Director Andy Souza to present a recommendation for promotion.
Have it. Thanks, Katie. So, good evening. Derek is here tonight. So, Derek, will you please stand up? So, Derek has been with the city in one shape or form for 26 years. And so he is taking on an enviable role of taking over one of our most criticized parts of the city. Snow plowing, leaf pickup, dead animals, sidewalks, all of those fun things are going to fall in some way, shape, or form on Derek's shoulders. And Derek can absolutely handle it. Right now, he is our commercial driver's license trainer for the city. Right now he's training 4 for Parks and Rec, 1 for Public Works. That saves the city thousands of dollars per person to get that CDL licensure. He also does all of our safety for our most dangerous division, that is slinging that hot asphalt, cutting trees down, and doing all the dangerous things that we do. And he is active in the American Public Works Association. In the state chapter, he is our social media person, so posting throughout the state. That is our accreditation for Public Works. We are the only city in the Commonwealth that's accredited for Public Works. So Derek is taking on a Herculean role. I have no doubt he will do amazing at it, and he has my highest recommendation. So Derek, best of luck, my friend, and it's over to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Derek, what's your favorite job to do for the city? That sounds awesome, Derek. And I see you have some supervisors here tonight. Do you have any family with you? We'll wave to them out there. I know they're proud of you.
Lucky me.
Maybe you can go join them after. Well, congratulations, and we're going to make this official for your promotion tonight. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations, Derek. Municipal order number 2026-176.
Municipal order approving the promotions of Dustin Jones to the position of Assistant Fire Chief, Tyler Cannon to the position of Captain, Matt Napier and Zach Shuffett to the position of Engineer, and Nick Adkins to the position of Fire Instructor in the Fire Department.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Hill. Mrs. Katie Schaller Ward.
These promotions are also a result of some very recent retirements, and I would like for Chief Brooks to come forth and present his recommendations.
Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. We've been in the habit of celebrations lately. Some of you joined us last Thursday as we said, see you later to 96 years of service. And the truth is, as we gather tonight for this agenda, we're not here to replace them. But tonight's about moving the service forward. The men that I bring before you tonight, that bring themselves with their body of work and their performance in our internal process that we have, they stand ready, willing, and able to man the roles and responsibilities that wait ahead of them. And more importantly, the citizens will win by their service. And so as I call their name, I would like to call their name with their requested approval for promotion. If that's okay with y'all.
Absolutely, Chief.
Fire Training Instructor Nick Atkins. Engineer Matt Napier. Engineer Zach Shuffett. Captain Tyler Cannon. And Assistant Chief Dustin Jones. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have for them.
Chief, these are some mighty men that stand before us, and I know they brought their families with them. I'd love for them to introduce their families if they could.
Thank you all for having us. I have the Brady Bunch of families here, so I'd like to introduce Molly, my wife Chelsea, my son Kurt, my other son Jameson, my mom Kelly, and my dad Tim.
That's a mighty family, Nick. Congratulations to you. All right.
This is my wife Nikki. This is my son Rocker. It won't look up. This is my rock right here, KJ. It's my dog.
Beautiful family. All right. All right. You buying tonight? You're working. Well, hopefully they'll have some cake for you. Hello. Well, you can wave to them as you're being promoted tonight. Well, gentlemen, we're going to make this official. Y'all ready? Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Congratulations, Dustin Jones, Tyler Cannon, Matt Napier, Zach Shuffett, and Nick Atkins. Y'all go celebrate in style, and have a great evening. Be careful. Municipal Order Number 2026-177.
Municipal order authorizing the acceptance of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Highway Contingency Grant Funds in the amount of $140,000 for sinkhole repairs at Kiwanis Drive and Shawnee Way, and further authorizing the mayor to execute a memorandum of agreement with the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Highways.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Bailey, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
Just another day in the office with a sinkhole repair here, $140,000. We were able, fortunately, to get the grant, this grant from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, the Highway Contingency Fund. Thanks to Jake Moore. Thank you for taking care of this, Jake. We're getting $140,000 to cover our cost incurred over on Kiwanis Drive and Shawnee Way. I believe that project is completed or close to completion. Just final paving over there. So thanks to Public Works for all of their work and the fix, and request your approval for this $140,000.
Jake, thank you for going out and finding this money for us, and This is greatly going to help what used to be our annual budget for sinkhole mitigation and has now become a bi-monthly issue. So thank you. Any further comments? And Public Works, thank you for your diligent work to protect our community and to do the sinkhole mitigation. I've never heard a complaint. You know, people's neighborhoods are falling in, the roads, they could be the end of their world, but the city has responded very well and has an excellent reputation for this mitigation. So thank you. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal Order Number 2026-178.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting the refurbishment of 2 leaf machines through a sole source from Brown Equipment Company in the amount of $98,000.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
Another Public Works item here, Operations Division provides a leaf pickup service. We have 5 leaf machines that pick up leaves each year, 2 months out of the year. These are expensive pieces of equipment, $130,000 or more for each piece of equipment. They do age and have a little trouble, but we have found a company, fortunately, that will refurbish these machines. And so coming to you tonight with a proposal to refurbish 2 of these with Brown Equipment Company up in Lexington. They will refurbish 2 of our machines for us, and we'll save a lot of money. These are expensive machines, as I mentioned, and we're only using them really 2 months a year or 1 month now. And so we think this will be a better option if we can get a lot of these refurbished instead of buying new. So Andy's here, can answer your questions on this one, but I recommend your approval to refurbish 2 of these machines with the Brown Equipment Company for $98,000.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mizel. Another public service that comes with a price and a lot of manpower that goes with it. Andy, how many tons of leaves do we remove?
That was an awesome question. You put it up there, and I'll hit it out of the park. So 1 million pounds of leaves last year. That was in 30 days, and so I'm a visual person. That's the equivalent of 50 fully loaded school buses of what we picked up in 30 days. So it's a lot of manpower. It's intensive. This year, we're starting on 30 November, so everyone be surprised. We took citizen feedback into our new dates. We're shifting 2 weeks later in the season. We never know when Mother Nature is going to bring the leaves down. So we'll start 30 November. We'll do our 30-day pickup. That is in concert with Western Kentucky University. Those leaves are dropped at the Ag Center and then turned into compost. So that's a lot of leaves, and I'll leave you with this. That's 94,000 bowling balls. So I had to look that up just for fun, but the operations team at the back of the room does an amazing job getting the entire city. And just for fun, we had a commercial business reach out to us and say, we will do this for you. We said, well, how much would that cost? $400 to $600 per residence per pickup. So that's what we're saving the taxpayers when we do this. So we definitely need these 2 machines upfitted. They're from 2014, so they're 12 years old, and it's time for those to be retrofitted for us. So,
Andy, that's a great idea. Do they come with a warranty?
yes, they do have a warranty. So I don't know how long we're going to get these to actually work. You never really know when you upfit a machine. 5 to 7 years is the advertisement for what we can get out of these, and they've been sitting out in the open for 12 years. So the fact that we can refurb 2 for the price of 1 new one's a great deal for the taxpayers.
It is. Great idea.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Andy.
Okay,
Further questions? Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, Municipal Order Number 2026-179.
Municipal order approving a contract with Vermeer Heartland for the purchase of a Vermeer mini truck loader with a trailer and attachments in the amount of $78,471.34 through Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
Included in your in the FY27 capital budget, we approved a mini track loader with trailer and attachments. This is for our landscape division. We went out on the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement and found a company, Vermeer Heartland of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, that had this machine for a really good price. And we're recommending that purchase of this mini track loader with trailer for purchase amount of $78,471 for the landscape division. Brent Belcher is here, can answer any questions on this one, but this is a smaller skid steer that can get in tight places like downtown, in parks and on Fountain Square Park to do some work, and so they're very happy to get this machine.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mizel. Commissioners, questions? Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2026-180.
Municipal order approving a contract with Trace 3 LLC for Cisco CX Security Enterprise Agreement in the total amount of $523,327.25 over a 5-year period under NASPO Value Point Cooperative Purchasing Contract through state pricing contract.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Beasley Brown. Mr. Mizel.
The city and our IT department use a lot of Cisco products. In fact, we have counted roughly 8 systems that we have to maintain. We were purchasing separately annual agreements to take care of those systems. Our Danita Weeks, our IT director, has found a cost-saving method to save on that. Before you tonight is a contract, a 5-year contract with Cisco CX Enterprise Agreement through Trace 3 to cover 8 separate contracts all in one and save $263,000 over the next 5 years. So in your packets, you'll have a good memo from Danita. On the second page, you see the chart showing the 8 different separate agreements that we were paying on. And by combining all of those, we go from $786,472 to $523,327 over a 5-year period to save that money. So Danita is here with us tonight, can answer any of your questions, but we are recommending approval, asking for your approval on this contract.
Thank you, Mr. Mizel. Danita, thank you for your hard work on this repurchasing contract. I understand it will save us over the long haul for price increasing, and so this is a
Locks it
5-year
in.
contract. I see. Questions, commissioners? Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2026-181.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting software subscription services from Tyler Technologies, Inc. in an amount of $159,640.99 for fiscal year 2027.
Sorry about that.
I'll give that one to Sue.
I wasn't reading it.
And follow up
reading
with
along.
Melinda. Mr. Mizel.
She'd be good on a game show, hitting that button.
She buzzed in early.
So this is another IT annual maintenance agreement. This is for our Tyler Technology software. This is our New World system. Roughly 160 city employees use the system on a daily basis. Includes our financial management, human resources, community development, all kinds of things. And so we have to have protection and maintenance on this each year. Coming to you with a renewal for $159,640 with Tyler, and Danita can answer any questions on this one as well. Just a routine annual maintenance contract with Tyler Technologies.
And thank you to your team for this work. And commissioners, questions?
I wanted Danita to have that.
Okay, thank you. Roll call.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2026-182.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting a proposal from Kelly Construction, Inc. related to a request for proposals for the municipal building project RFP 2026-55 in the amount of $2,579,697 and further approving a construction manager at-risk fee at 3%.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
I'd like to ask Brent Childers, our Neighborhood Community Services Director, kind of lead on this project, one of the leads, to come up and present and give you an overview of this one. Brent?
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, Mayor, Commissioners. Pleasure to be before you tonight to talk about this project. But as I talk about this project, I want you to understand the full scope of how we got here today. There's a lot of history to this. In about 2012, some of you were here at that time, we looked at We were deciding whether NCS was going to move up on the hill or were we going to build a new building down here. But we didn't have the property. We didn't own the property behind us. We didn't have sufficient property, and we made the decision, and we're not ready to take on such a big project, so we'll move Neighborhood and Community Services up the hill. We're going to renovate the annex. So that was the decision made at that point. We moved up the hill. I'm glad we did it. I love being on the hill. But then you fast forward to 2023, the opportunity came up for the white building to be purchased, the white building that sits directly behind City Hall. You all took that opportunity and said, you know what, we're gonna buy this. That vision that has been out there for some time can now be realized. That gave us the property to do a new building on that. And so then the staff started thinking, all right, so how do we get from vision to start building reality? And so the group of staff started sitting around, started having meetings, and started planning out, how do we get there? What does that look like? What does that impact? What does that mean? How do we take 3 buildings that we own, tear them down and build a new building for the next 100 years? That's a big task. So we went to WKU. We went to architecture design students, and we did a class project with them in the spring of 2024. Spring of 25, I'm sorry, to start envisioning what that would look like, and had them come in and start putting some actual pictures, some floor plans, showed that to you all, said, hey, this is what it could look like. Here's some options. You all said, yes, let's move forward. Let's take the next step. What's the next step? Well, now we got to hire a design firm. We got to hire architects. We got to have somebody that can take this vision and make it real, make it producible for somebody else to build. And so we issued an RFP, got 15 proposals, narrowed it down, interviewed 6, interviewed 2, did 2 full sets of interviews, came back with a recommendation for JRA out of Louisville, Kentucky, that was awarded earlier this year to be the architect of record, the whole design team in civil engineering, mechanical engineering, everything that it takes to put that, to build that on paper. That decision was made at that time to go down a different project delivery path. Whenever I talk about project delivery, you know, the KRS gives us a couple of opportunities of how do we find somebody to build that. KRS 45A lays out those options. That's what the state law allows us to do. So we have 2 paths. One, a general contractor path. That path is where the design firm designs everything with us as the owner. We put it out as a bid. The construction companies download that, they review it, they come back with a number and say, I'll do this project for this number. Now, whenever you do that, you have to take the lowest number. And if you don't, you better have a really, really good reason why. It's really hard to undo a low bid contract. But that's where you're at. You lose control, you lose oversight, and whoever they bring on that job, as long as they're licensed to do work in the city of Bowling Green, they pay their occupationals, they've got insurance with contractors licensing, they make all those determinations under a general contractor relationship. We said, you know what, this project is different. This project isn't simple. This project isn't straightforward. This project, we need to take a different approach. We need to look at a construction manager, similar to what we're doing down at Riverfront, where we awarded a construction manager. So this spring, Daniel Coulter and myself did a deep dive immersion learning what construction management means under KRS 45A. We started interviewing companies, started just learning what does the benefits, how does it work, how do you know this, how do you know that? Started just immersing ourselves in understanding so we could be as proficient in this new project delivery method as we could be, given the opportunity for such a monumental project that this community has been looking at for decades. And so we learned, and here's what we learned. One, they come to the table during the design process. So you're not having a designer draw this out, and then somebody's trying to figure out how to put it together. Your construction manager is with you along that process as those plans are developed. So if a designer comes up with a really radical design, the contractor can say, yeah, that's going to be really hard for us to build. We could achieve it this way, though, and still get what you're looking for. Okay, we can make that change. Now you're making the change on paper before you ever start. That's called pre-construction services. That's what a construction manager does for you. The other thing they do is they oversee the actual bidding of the work that it takes to build that. And what that means is a construction manager will issue bids for the different trade packages. So for a project like this, that could be 25 different trade packages. That's your electrician, your plumber, your HVAC, your concrete, your site, your steel erection, whatever those trade packages is based on the design. And they work with us on how do those look? Who's qualified to do this? Are there local companies that can do this? How can they be a part of this project? And so we are a part of all that. And then they bring them back to us and say, hey, here's the bids we got. Here's 3 firms that we think can do this electrical, this plumbing, this mechanical, this erection, this site, this concrete, all 25 packages. And then we, as city staff, get to say, yeah, I think that's the right choice. Yes, I think that's the best value to the city. As representatives of the taxpayers, our job is to provide the best value back to the community. And so we get to be a part of that. And then once you get almost all the plans done, 90%, then you lock everything down. And it's called a GMP, a guaranteed maximum price. And once you get to that guaranteed maximum price, the construction manager is bound to build that project, oversee everything based on that number. So they are going, this is the AR part in CMAR, at risk. So now look, we've bid it with them, we've seen it, they've been part of the design, so there's comfort there for everybody to do this. But they have to deliver the project for that price. That's the at-risk part of the construction manager. And then construction starts. The other role of the construction manager is to manage construction, right? So think about the site. Whenever you drive onto a construction site, you know you're in a different place. It's not a public square. It's not an office building. You're on a construction site. Safety has to be important. There's usually a fence. There's a job trailer. There's tools. There's equipment. There's signage. All those things. That's managing the site. That's called general conditions in the construction management world. So all those is an understanding. I want you to understand how the construction management is different than a general contractor. It puts us as the owner, the construction manager, and the design team as part of the entire project team to deliver the project. So we made that decision to go down that path, to issue an RFP to hire a construction manager. So we drafted it this spring. We issued it in May, had a pre-proposal meeting, non-mandatory, for people to come in where we could go through things, walk the site, make sure everybody's clear on what it is that is expected, because we're talking about demolishing the Public Works building, demolishing the City Hall Annex, demolishing the White Building, and then we got to think through, well, how do we do all that with the existing staff? We bought another building to move our staff to for this project. We have our Public Works Department now on the 3rd floor of that building so that we could be in preparation for this construction project that we know is coming in the future. And so we write the RFP, we do the proposals with the pre-proposal meeting, we open them up in the end of June. We got 6 proposals. 6 firms said, you know what, we want to sign on to be a part of this. All of them are qualified and capable to handle the project. I'm not going to diminish any firm that was part of that. All of them send us a resume of their work, a full proposal of here's what we've done, here's who we are, here's how we work, and this is the type of thing that type of services that we're going to provide to you, city. We reviewed them. The committee is myself, Daniel Coulter, and Dave Hayner, and we reviewed those 6 proposals. We shared those proposals with our architecture firm, who had no scoring, no votes as part of this. It was all staff-driven of who's making the recommendation, who's making the decision. We represent you all as the owner in this scenario. We selected 3 for interview. So we say, we want to hear from you. We want you to come sit down with us. We want to get to know you. If we're going to sit across this design table for the next 9 months, 7 months, however long that takes, and work through this project, we want to know who it is we're working with. We want to see how you think. We want to see how you interact. We want to sit down and get to know you. So we tell them, bring your team. You're going to have 15 minutes to present. It's your time. Do it however you want. You talk about anything you want to talk about. It's your 15 minutes. We're going to have 35 minutes to ask questions. And we're going to ask anything we want to ask as part of that 35 minutes. I do that so that everybody has the same 15 minutes and the same 35 minutes. We have to ensure that we have a competitive and fair process under KRS 45A, but also to ensure to the taxpayers that we're doing this under a competitive and fair process. So we finish those interviews, we discuss, we make a selection, we finalize our scores. And once we finalize our scores, that allows the procurement office to release the cost. So I told you those 3 costs: the pre-construction, the general conditions, and then I didn't tell you about the third one. Third one is the CMAR fee. There's a fee, a percentage on all those trade packages. So now we finally get to see the numbers. We were blind to the numbers until that point. We get the numbers. We've already made our scoring. We made our ranking. And so we go to our selected firm and start a negotiation. And we go, if we can't figure out how to negotiate this, then we'll have to go to the next firm. We were able to work through that. We were able to achieve some savings. We were able to talk and bring more clarity about the project. And those fees, the fees that are before you today, are a few $100,000 from where they started, based on those conversations, those negotiations, and just providing additional clarity about the project and the scope and how this works. And so that finishes this up to then come forward with a recommendation. Our recommendation to you all is Kelly Construction Incorporated out of Louisville, Kentucky. They were our top selected firm. Whenever we reviewed the proposals, they were our top selected firm after the interviews. The costs that they have submitted are absolutely in line. This is one of the tighter cost submittals I've ever seen, especially given the scope of the project. Now, what that means is they, if you all support this recommendation, will take on the role of construction manager and execute the things that I just talked about. They will be at the design table with our architects and us, figuring out what should this building look like? How should it be constructed? How should it be put together? That's the pre-construction services that's there. They will be bidding all this. And in our RFP, we made sure to include language that said we want to ensure that there are local suppliers, local vendors, local companies that have a part of this. We knew a project of this scale was going to draw a lot of attention. That sitting 60 miles north of Nashville, 110 miles south of Louisville, that we were going to get attention on a project of this scale, this complexity, and this cost. And we wanted to ensure that our local companies got a piece of that this project impacts the local economy just like it's going to impact the future of downtown and change the trajectory of this entire block for the next 50 to 100 years. So with that, I wanted you all to hear the whole story. I was part of that decision, that recommendation in 2012, and I'm here before you today to make the recommendation that I think our construction manager at risk for the municipal building should be Kelly Construction Incorporated out of Louisville, Kentucky, and the fees are described before you. And I'm here to entertain any questions that you all might have related to that. Thank you all.
Great. Commissioners?
Mr. Childers, first, I appreciate that you guys put that in there for the local, because I know that we do definitely want local companies to have, some type of say, I think I heard there was a gentleman that was talking about, I was at the time capsule opening just this past weekend, and they basically showed that, they had people there who had grandparents, that were a part of it. And they was like, yeah, my grandfather, built that. So I appreciate you guys putting that in there for the RFP. So I have 2 questions.
Sir.
The questions that I have is basically, will the bid packages structured for the local companies, will they be able to reasonably compete? I don't want it to not be reasonably competing, and it basically has them, where they can't put a bid in and then they're automatically out.
Correct.
The second one is, will the city staff be able to review any of those recommendations, for the local companies. So again, I really appreciate, Mr. Childers, that you guys put that language in there, because one day there's going to be somebody who's going to say, my grandparent built that, like what I heard the other day.
No, it's funny. That's one of the prides that I hear from the construction industry is they get to look back and say, this is I was part of that. And I know that feeling as somebody that has dabbled in construction over the years from a very mediocre level. I promise you that. I understand that feeling. And the answer is yes. That was laid out in the RFP. That was laid out in the response. Because we want to ensure that those trade packages aren't so complicated that a local that maybe doesn't do at that scale. So yes, and the answer is yes, and the other answer is yes, we will be part of that. So Daniel and Dave will be our project representatives as this goes through, and so they understand the role that comes with this as the owner, is understanding that we want to include this. That's why we put it in there. And so they will be at the table, having that oversight, being part of that conversation to make sure that we have local companies. Now, we're fortunate in this community is we have tremendous local talent. A lot of local talent in a variety of industry, in a variety of categories and specialties, right? So we have tremendous electricians and plumbers and steel erectors and site and concrete. So we have that. Now, the only exception to that might be if you get into, I don't know what the project's going to look like, but if we get into a super specialty thing, you got to go find somebody. There are some times where our market isn't big enough to support niche work, right? You got to go to a bigger city. They have more of it, and so you can be successful in that niche industry. But in your general specialty trades packages, I feel like we have enough local support here. The other thing I want to make sure that I clarify, under KRS 45A, there is a rule in there, it's called the 20% self-performance rule, okay? And so that limits the CMAR's ability to do self-performance. That would be where their own crews are providing work, right? That's where their own employees are doing physical construction, because they're supposed to be the construction manager. And so that limits to 20% of that total work value. And they still have to bid that against outside competition. So they're still submitting a bid even for the part that is their 20%. They don't just get a full 20% that they get to use and they get to bring in their folks and nobody else gets a shot. They still have to demonstrate that they provide the best value for that portion of the work. And the law requires that under KRS. So that is not a city policy. That is not a city directive. That is laid out in KRS 45A, because once you go to this construction manager, they are acting on our best behalf as a manager of construction. So I wanted to make sure I got that point. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Bailey.
Please, the floor is open.
Thank you. First of all, Brent and City Manager Jeff Meisel, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time, spend a lot of time with you all, asking a lot of questions. I appreciate you taking the time to explain this. It is new to us. But I also, if you don't mind, we're fortunate enough, before the meeting started, I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Kelly. And if you wouldn't mind, I'd like for him to come up and introduce himself and his son, and so we can ask him. Yes.
We have two Mr. Kellys.
Yes.
Mr. Joe Kelly, Mr. Trent Kelly.
Yes, yes, and if you don't mind, Joe, if you will explain, as we talked, I told you our concern is local.
Yes, yes,
So
I'm very much happy to do that. And as the gentleman before me just said, that we're limited to 80%. When you take out the fees, we will exceed 80% and probably be 95% local, or it will not be us. We won't really bid against ourselves. If there's just a little bit of small things here or there, we might pick that up, but that's not what we do. And we travel, we do different types of work around, but we always want to be part of the community. We always do. We love Bowling Green. We've done a lot of work here. We've used a lot of local subs here. It makes no sense, and it's not cost effective for people to come even from Nashville or Louisville. Or if you're here and you can do the work, you should do the work. That's what we want. That's how you make a lasting effort. We're not here today, gone tomorrow. We've made a commitment here. We've had an office here for 3 years. My daughter last Thursday did the women's event. She was a keynote speaker for 300 women. We're not just here and going to be gone. We've had a place at the lake for over 12 years. I mean, we love this community. We want to be a part of this. We're not here to take. We're here to add value. Not take over, not take away, none of that stuff. We really are committed to this community, and we love it. We will solicit bids. We will advertise for bids. And like the gentleman before me, you all will sit right there. We are not making any decisions alone. This is a joint effort. But what we do as a construction manager, we do well, and we do it really well. And we've completed projects around here that were very challenging, and you could find other leadership in your community that you could ask, and they would tell you and support that Kelly Construction is a quality company. We're a family company, family owned. I have a younger brother. I have 2 kids. My daughter's president of this division. My brother and his oldest work in another division that has nothing to do with this. We're very much about family values. This town has something special. It's growing, and you got to hold on to what you have, and you can't do that with just what you have, but you can do it with people like us and other companies, not just in construction, that have the right mindset and the right attitude to come into this town, and we support that as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'm happy to answer anything else.
One other question, just to
Sure.
piggyback. I apologize, Mayor. You said that guys have been here for 3 years and you've built certain things. What can we look at in Bowling Green that you guys have had a hand in?
The Med Center project, we just completed that standalone hospital in 18 months. We're
new
gonna-
one?
The new
The
one.
tower.
The tower.
Which is the grand opening is on the 15th of
Yes,
this
sir.
month.
Yes, sir,
Saturday.
Mr. Mayor. Yes, it is. That project, start to finish, 18 months. We had a clock on the wall at years, days, months, minutes, seconds. We finished and got the certificate of occupancy 33 hours early. We take it very seriously. We manage projects good. We did the emergency room as well, and we have other projects in town that we'll be doing and people are talking to us about. Every project's not for us. If we don't add value, the project manager on this job will be local. The superintendent on this job, local. We want all the local people that we can get. As a matter of fact, if you have anybody you recommend, we'd love to talk to them. We get a lot of students from the university. We support in a lot of ways that you don't really know. And you know, the gentleman, when you had the police officers here, I'm a founding member of the Louisville Metro Police Foundation, and it's something I've talked to some of the people here. We need to get something here like that. We need a fundraiser. We need to get businesses involved. I'll participate, bring the community together with the leadership to understand that they support the police officers, the morale. It's amazing some of the things you can do. I'd be happy to help lead that. There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of good things that we'd like to help participate in. Like I said, my daughter participating in that event, maybe some of you ladies were there, I'm not sure, but we're happy to be a part of this community, want to be a part of this community.
I'd like to say a few.
Of course.
Thank you for your coming
Yeah.
to Bowling Green and participating. And
Yes.
they are the people building the new crisis mental health intake center, which I've taken very personal as I led that committee for.
Yes.
But this is not, you're not going to like what I have to say probably,
No,
but
that's fine.
that's okay. I'm going to express myself here. But thank you, Brent and team, for all of the work that you've done. And it seems like I was here in 2012. I'm not sure, probably. It's been a while. But thank you for allowing me to share a few thoughts on why we should be awarding this project to Scott Murphy and Daniel rather than Kelly. First and foremost, they're local. They only work locally. They do not travel, which means they live, work, raise families, play, and worship here with all of us locals. And I certainly hope you live up to your local commitment, and especially as it relates to Scott Murphy and Daniel.
Will.
I would really appreciate that. They pay occupational tax locally. They employ about 250 employees as well. They contribute to the city's occupational tax base at about $100,000 a year. That's not to mention the property taxes they pay, the people that own properties and things that work for Scott Murphy and Daniel, along with sponsorships and community participation. I'm very active with the Chamber of Commerce here, in which they are unbelievably committed to. Pre-construction services such as budgeting and working with the architects and general conditions, the projects are essentially equivalent as far as the money, as far as the bids. They are really essentially equivalent. It came down to about a 0.5 percentage point on the overall estimate of $25 million difference between your bid and Scott Murphy and Daniel's bid. So I won't go into all those details, but that's what happened. So that's not an issue. The cost is basically the same. And it's really uncanny how close that was. And Brent, you're right. That's amazing how close these bids were. It's crazy. So the value that Scott Murphy and Daniel brings to this community cannot be measured in dollars. They're great employers, and I'm sure that you all are going to be the same. And they're community partners. In fact, when they built the Life Navigation Center on Lower Main for us, they ran $40,000 over budget. Mike Murphy, bless his heart and soul, has passed away. But Mike told his staff, don't say anything. Don't say a word. We're gonna take care of that. And there's not money that can be attributed to those kinds of things that relate to how personally invested Mike Murphy and his whole entire company was to this community. He didn't pass that cost along to us. One of the construction managers told me at the grand opening that happened, but Mike didn't want anybody to know. Not that you're not a great company, obviously you are. Headquartered in Louisville, recently came to Bowling Green to expand your services in our market. It's wonderful. Glad we need more competition in everything we do, so that's just not a thing. You're building the Crisis Mental Health Intake Center on Lovers Lane and recently finished the new tower at the Med Center. But when I asked about how much they subbed to Scott Murphy and Daniel, the answer was none. It was stated, because those are all subs too. It was stated to the president of the company, one of the presidents, that they're not awarded work. They are they're not awarding work to their competitors in those instances. I get that. I don't necessarily disagree with that philosophy. I was a business owner myself. I didn't farm out to my competition, of course not. But in this case, it's going to be imperative that we do. So good. It's unfortunate that our local competitor of yours didn't get to be involved in the Crisis Mental Health Center or the tower at the Med Center. I want to make one thing perfectly clear. Just because you're a local company doesn't mean you should get a contract. However, when you're more than qualified and all of the things are equal, you probably should. So for these reasons, I'm going to need to vote no tonight.
I'd like to maybe respond to some of that. And I'm sure Scott Murphy Daniel is a great company. Rob Belt's my neighbor at the lake. So if y'all know Rob Belt, he was the CFO before he retired. We used to have great conversations. We are not against Scott Murphy Daniel.
I know you're not.
And we can make an exception here if we want to, because you all get to drive this. We're just kind of riding along. If you all want them to do a certain part of this project, we can solicit bids, but we have to do it under KRS. They're listed on our systems as a competitor. We work with competitors to use them, for example. If they called us and said, hey, we're not bidding as a GC, we want to team up with you with this, this, and this, we would welcome them with open arms. We do that. We do that with other companies in Louisville. But most of the time, other people don't want to see that happen, because if you get in a situation, and in no way, shape, or form, and I'm not saying this is the case, because it's not the case, if you start working with two companies and one company covers, then the other company covers, it looks like collusion. And KRS doesn't like that. Owners don't like that. It just doesn't make sense for invite the fox into the henhouse. I wouldn't expect them to use me, but I also have no problem for us sitting down, our company and their company, and saying, how can we work together in Bowling Green? But it's got to be open, it's got to be fair, right? It has to be that way. With us not having a dog in the fight with, like, for example, we do a lot of work in the Gulf Coast. We do a lot of concrete work. We move enormous amounts of dirt. It's a whole different division, just like theirs. We don't commingle at all. I don't bring them here. We don't do that. We don't do that in Louisville. We won't do it here because of the local base of contractors. Now, the 250 employees that you speak of, we're not here to displace them. They're going to keep working. Bowling Green's growing, right? We just want to be with them, right? We want to be a part of the community and others that are going to come here if you all continue to grow. The subcontract base is the one you need to be focused with. There's the ones that are going to be growing, and there's going to be other subcontractors come to this town with the way the census, that we're looking at in 20 years doubling or whatever, it's close to that, right? There's going to be more companies coming here. Those are the people that we're going to support. We're not taking away from the great people that are here. The people that are here are going to stay here. Their opportunities are tenfold. That's really not what anybody's going to do. And we're not going to take away from a great company like you just mentioned, or the other great companies that have been here for so long. They're not going anywhere. They might need to compete a little different, but we'll make them better. They'll make us better. That's what I think you had mentioned that. Competition is good. Even in your own words, I think that I agree with you 100%.
My thing was, all things being equal,
Yeah.
we should select a local company that has committed, I think they've been around about 75 years, into this community already, and they're capable. They're perfectly capable. But
Yeah.
that's just my 2 cents.
Sure. I understand.
My opinion.
And I respect.
No, they won't.
And-
They're going to continue to thrive.
Yeah.
It's a thriving company.
I totally
But
respect
they so
that.
would have liked to have been a part of this campus in this town with their people.
I understand. Answered anybody else's questions, or?
Any others? Kelly? Mr. Kelly, I just want to state, you said a key word for me, and that's open, fair competitiveness. You mentioned solicit, and then you also said advertise.
Yes.
That's a very important thing for government. I came
Okay.
from the government 21 years. We advertised, everything went out to the free market. And so this 80-20, that's allowed with the Kentucky, state, they put in with the intent that a contract management at risk would have competitors that are not themselves. And I know there's different groups of what you can provide versus what you do, but that's important here. And that's what brought you to this table. That's why you're here standing in front of us, because, the computation on award for the points that your company is receiving got top points. And that's something to consider. And then you also got lowest bid. And so those are things that brought you to the open market, and we want to continue that as we do the CMAR with open market. And you're giving us that assurance tonight. So I thank you, Mr. Kelly, for that.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, no further comments, questions?
Just for Brent.
For Brent?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for taking the time to explain the process to our community. It's just really exciting to think about, how much we love this city hall. You didn't really touch on how, we want to make sure we're preserving this space as we grow. So I just wanted you to just say that again about how we want to preserve this and enhance it with the way we're going to build around it. And then since this is the first time we're using this type of, contract management, if there are some local companies who are excited and want to be a part of building the next phase of City Hall, is it going to be advertised in the same place on our portal, or is it going to be look differently?
about
Like,
that.
where can local contractors make sure they're involved in this?
Yes, okay. So the public understands the vision that we have here is City Hall will stay here, right? This isn't going away. It will be renovated, but whenever you look out from 10th Street or from College Street and you look at this building, it's going to be here. It's not going away. The Public Works building next door is going to go away. The City Hall Annex, 1017 College Street, it's going to go away. And then the white building on 10th Street that sits behind us, it's going to go away. And there will be a new building, I believe an addition. Is that where we're kind of at this point? Okay. They're more involved in the design side. That will be added onto City Hall. So there will be a new building added on this entire campus. And as we talked about this previously, I think with the Design Award, it's about reimagining how does this campus serve the public for the next 50 to 100 years. What we're operating out of now is an old police department that we added a second floor to that doesn't always line up. It's an old grocery store built in the 40s with a print shop in the back that now we've turned into offices in our IT, and then an old funeral home that was law offices, an apartment, and some other offices that we've got some stuff in. So it's, we've made do with a bunch of old buildings for a long time, and now it's time to make something for the next generation of citizens that call Bowling Green home and build a new campus here on this property in downtown Bowling Green. The second part of your question is how do they participate? So in the RFP it outlines, they have to advertise this out. So there are what's called these construction network sites that a lot of construction companies are on, and so that's how they're going to solicit. You can also reach out to Daniel or Dave Hayner at Public Works. You can reach out directly to Kelly Construction. We're looking for qualified local subcontractors to fill these roles. They're going to use their own network. They've been doing projects here in the community, and so they've got an extensive network on things that they've done. But it's about finding the right talent for the right job at the right price for this project. Thank you, Commissioner. Anything else I can help with?
While you're up here,
Yeah.
you started 2012 in NCS. Is it going to include NCS in the future of this campus?
That's still yet to be determined. Right now, the plan is for NCS to stay up on the hill. But we're kind of working through what does the future of some of those organizational structures look like as we move forward. But at this point, we're going to stay up by the water tower. So,
Thank you.
yes, sir. Anything else I can help you all with this evening?
Thank you, Brent.
Thank you all.
Okay, commissioners, further discussion on this? None, roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
No.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2026-183.
Municipal order expressing the desire and intent of the City of Bowling Green to finance costs related to the fiscal year 2027 capital projects in an amount up to $42,500,000.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
So as we look forward, we've got two big projects on the table, the City Hall campus municipal building, as well as Fire Station number 9. As you all know, we just did the purchase agreement, purchase option on land for Station 9. We'll soon be going into design for that. But total of those two projects, we're looking at around the $42 to $43 million mark. So we know that we need to finance these projects over a long period of time. These are, like Brent said, these are 50 to 100-year-old infrastructure facilities that will be out there for a long time. And so we're looking at doing a bond issue probably sometime next year. And so what this is before you tonight is a intent to finance. And we haven't done one of these in a long time because we haven't issued our own bonds in a long time. The last bond issue that we did for City of Bowling Green was really the ballpark in 2008. Before that, we had a 2007 issue that included Circus Square Park, Coomer Little, and a lot of other mixed projects that we mixed in there in 2007 with $15 million bond issue, which we thought was big at that time. And so since then, we have paid down our debt. We have been very, very blessed and fortunate to be able to pay cash for a lot of projects, including the Public Safety Training Center that was recently completed last year with some federal money, some grant money, our own savings. But this is a different animal here, looking at a $35 million possible project with City Hall and $7.5 to $8 million for the Fire Station 9. So we want to be able to cover any costs we incurred between now and when the bonds are issued. This intent to finance allows us to reimburse ourselves with bond money when the bonds are issued, in case we incur any costs to pay bills. in between now and then. So we are requesting your approval. This could be subject to change as we know more in the days to come, but this is what we know as of today. We feel confident in passing to you for approval. And Katie and Aaron, we've worked on this together, but we think this is probably what we're going to need as of now for the intent to finance. Be glad to answer any of your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Mazel. Commissioners, questions?
No questions, but I appreciate them, not having to issue bonds for such a long time, and just being fiscally responsible is very important. One thing that, looking at the future and putting this money aside, when I was at the 100-year time capsule opening, they talked about in 1952, they took out $300,000 just for that hospital. And they thought at the time when it was built, they said it was the state of the art. But we know that since 1952, in 1979 or 1980, they built the hospital as we know it, the medical center. So it wasn't state of the art as we did. So I think that having this here and trying to make sure that we're trying to build something that is going to be state of the art, that is going to be last for 100 years, that is going to service our community by having the fire department there to get quicker to places to save people when emergencies happen. We know that that's very important. That hospital, when they issued that $300,000, which was like, it's in the millions today, actually. But for then, it was a lot of money. And for it to only last 28 to 29 years, it wasn't where they thought it was going to be. And I think it was like 35 beds that was there, which was a small comparison. So we're all going to be long gone, but hopefully this is something that is going to stand the test of time. It's going to be something that can grow with the community, because Bowling Green is going to look very different within 100 years.
This building that we're sitting in, built in 1908, and here we are, 2026. And it's been preserved, and it's been taken care of, and it's been maintained. And so as we plan the new building, we are looking to plan for a 100-year-plus building that will serve the citizens of Bowling Green. It's going to be a building that we're all going to be proud of. The citizens will be proud of. The citizens will be able to come in and enjoy and come to a commission meeting and have room to sit down and have room to move around. And it'll be something that the whole community will be proud of. We're working hard for that, it's a building that will be welcoming to the public, not only to serve our internal staff needs, but to serve the public. A new commission chamber, and that will be very welcoming to the public. And so we're excited to put it all together. We're working hard with JRA and soon to be hopefully Kelly, and putting all of the pieces together. It's a lot of pieces when you're moving from going from 3 buildings into one, 4 or 5 different departments, trying to figure out where everybody's going to be. It's been fun, but it's been a challenge. So thank you.
Same time.
A question. I know part of our amazing credit rating that we have is our low bond amount, and so I just want to check and make sure this is going to be okay in terms of our ratios, keeping our good credit score.
Yes, we have such an extreme low level of debt currently. This shouldn't impact that at all.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Mazel, further questions? All right. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Ordinance number BG 2026-13, second reading binding.
Ordinance closing a public right-of-way. Ordinance approving the closing of an unimproved right-of-way located on Long Avenue between 687 and 701 Covington Street.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Hill. This was 5 approvals by our Board of Commissions. Any further discussion? None. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Okay, as we're checking for public comments, I will announce that our next meeting's August 18th, 2026 at 4:30 right here at the Commission. public comments? Come on up. Yes, sir, I'm ready. Well, I'm not. I got to get my clock up. But I'm getting ready for you. All right, I'm going to start. I'll give you, and then you'll have up to 5 minutes, and I'll let you know 3, 2, 1. You are ready to go.
Okay. I'm still waiting on something to be done. I've been coming here for 8 months. And other than a couple of things painted in the road and one sign being put up, I'm still waiting. I've heard from almost every one of you said, let the police handle it. They're in there very seldom. I see one drive through, but I think he lives over in the Chenoweth area, but he drives through. In the meantime, and I called Melinda on this, I said, the only thing I've gotten out of this in the last 8 months is the city compliance officer coming by and giving me a notice because I had a Vacation Bible School sign in my yard 4 feet from the edge of the road. One of those big, nice lime green notices was hung on my door. So that's all I've gotten out of it in the last 8 months, is for them to notice. So sometimes I feel like I'm almost being targeted. If I didn't know any better, sometimes I think about what my mom told me. You all don't know I'm Hispanic, but I am. My mom's Puerto Rican. So she said, always be careful of your ethnicity. But I know that's not happening in this community because this community is full of different ethnicities. But I still feel like, okay, you know, what's going on here? I can't get anything done. And so anyway, I'm going to switch gears on you a little bit, okay? I want to know how many of these companies are going to come in and put fiber optic cable in the yard. 3 more?
Oh, that's 3 minutes left on your
Okay.
time.
All right. So I've already had 3 come through and tear my yard up. The last time there was one up 40 feet into my yard, left 5 spots in my yard. They've hit 2 water mains in Cross Ridge just last month. I will say the stump fiber people, they did a great job. They dug small holes, patched them back up, in and out. But this last bunch has used a small track hoe and dug large trenches, Mayor, from me to you, in the yards. And they look horrible. Places have fallen in and everything. So I just want to know how many more are going to be coming through.
Can't answer that because there's a Open Communications Act that allows by law that we cannot stop a communication from providing. It's the AT&T Act that disbanded. I'm going to refer to Hillary, but if you want the answer, she can give you that.
Okay, well, I want to know if they have the right to be 40 feet up into my yard.
It's probably right of way, but you can talk to Mr. Souza or me or both of us.
Okay, because that's where the machine was in my yard, was 40 feet up in the yard. And so I wasn't there, and it's probably a good thing. I was in Phoenix, so that's probably a good thing that I wasn't there. I will say to you, the other day, I saw the 4th emergency vehicle come through since I've been there for 28 years. Now, I know there's probably been a few others because I work some, but I've been pretty much retired since 2011. And I saw the ambulance come by. Sirens on, lights on, driving slower than most of the people that go past my house, just on a normal basis. I was out in the yard today, and they're zipping through there faster than the ambulance was. And I just want to know when things are going to happen. And I've been waiting for a neighborhood meeting. I've talked to Mr. Souza a bunch. He's been really good and stuff, but I'm still waiting on somebody to say, okay, we have permission to put those fire-approved speed humps in. That's what I'm waiting on. And the last 3 or 4 meetings that I've come to, I keep hearing about the growth in Warren County, the growth. That scares the hell out of me because it takes 2 minutes sometimes for me to pull out of my driveway, and I know where the growth is going in Warren County. It's going in South Warren area. I mean, we got a school out there with 1,700 kids in it now, and it's all because Greenwood was split, and in the 17, Greenwood's back to 1,600 students. So,
Thank you for your time.
okay,
Appreciate it.
but it scares me.
I understand. Thank you, everybody, for attending. We're adjourned.